Today the question is, well, how do I take my small business from the initial growth stage, where you've made enough money, you're meeting expenses, and maybe even more. You've got a couple of employees, you've got some structures in place, but you want to get to the next level of your small business, but you're being stopped and held back by either lack of planning, strategy, or just plain paralysis. You're not really sure. Things are so busy that you can't get to the next level. Well, the important thing is to decide if you want to grow first of all, because there are some costs involved. And hopefully by presenting what's typically required to make this happen, you can think through whether you want to do it or not. So there are a couple of things to look at. One is your systems, secondly your functions, and thirdly your employee retention. And these involve some work and upfront work, and it's almost required work. Now you can spread it out over time to build it, and that's probably the best way to do it, because it's probably not going to happen like in a 1 month spurt. It could, but it probably won't. So there are a couple of things. Firstly, the systems, like I said. So you want to identify, systems and functions kind of go together, hand in hand. You want to identify all the functions that you want to hold on to, your business partner wants to hold on to, and all the functions that you want to give away. So you may not want to hold on to, let's say, administrative tasks anymore. You may be doing some, but you want to give away all of it at some point. You may be in that position, and so you want to start identifying what those functions are. And the functions are really simply, you can look at it in terms of a black box diagram. So there are inputs coming in and outputs going out. So an example of a bookkeeping system or function is that the inputs coming in are data from your business, like income, data, receipts, billings, invoices, etc., etc. And the output could be a QuickBooks report that goes to your CPA. So you want to identify and draw out these kinds of functions. And there's some advantage of doing this in an engineering-like manner, because when you account for it all, you start seeing how you can actually combine so many systems and functions. Inevitably it happens to almost every client. You can combine some of them and you can start getting some economies of good design if you started designing this right. The second thing would be, you may discover some of these functions are redundant. You don't really need them anymore. So it's really good to actually watch it or look at this pictorially or visually for yourself by drawing these boxes with the inputs and outputs going out. Once you've decided these systems and functions, you got to see which ones you want to keep, which ones you want to keep, which ones you want to delegate to other people, and which ones we should use technology for, or which ones we should consolidate and design a better system for the future. Now this will incorporate or involve looking at how fast you want to grow, which means you got to start planning out in the next 12 months how much you want to grow and what's required for that growth. I mean, if you're going to take on more customers, your systems have to be on par. But you probably won't be able to change your systems overnight, so it'll take some time. So you got to pace your business with your redesign of your business as well. Hope that makes sense. Okay. The last point is employee retention, and this is a big one for a lot of people, because as you grow, you'll find a couple of things. One is you need better employees or different kinds of employees to handle the growth. And so you may need more leaders. You have to start training leaders. You may need training manuals. You need more training time. You need a team that has very clear partnership agreements with you. You need HR policies. I'm not saying that you have to go out and get a HR consultant and get everything done overnight. But there's a lot more upfront thinking required before you go to the HR consultant. And that is looking at individual agreements, the people that you know, especially your top level managers, what do they want to have for their career in the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. Not doing that could be a huge problem for you, even if you are not committed to growing, because you don't want to be surprised by someone leaving, especially if he's a top-notch employee. You want to be able to at least see, okay, it's going to last about a year, maybe 2 years, which is fine. People need to move on sometimes. And when you deal with younger people these days, in this generation, you're inevitably going to find people who don't want to hang around the same company for too long. They want to move on and grow. And that's normal, and that's okay, and you should encourage that. but you want to be clear how long you want to be having this person as an employee, so that your business is not on risk or not at risk. So I hope that makes sense. How you do that is you try and there are questions that I give to my clients to ask their employees that we can figure that out. We can figure it out pretty well, and over time it becomes even more and more clear if you do the work. But you have to do the work. There's no way around that. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and actually go for this kind of work. And the question is, are you willing to do that? Do you have the resources and the time and the money to do that? And if you still want to grow, then you've got to have a good plan to spread out the work. Because like I said, if you try and do it too soon or too fast, you may cause dissension in the company and upset with your clients and your customers, etc. So I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to respond. Have a great day.